news reporter Anna Riley, who is at a miners' social club in Sheffield. Anna, what are the people there saying about the budget statement?
Good afternoon. Yes, we are at Renishaw Miners Welfare, a social club near Sheffield, getting reaction from the budget, but also marking 40 years today, 40 years since the miners' strike started back on March the 6th, 1984. I'm joined firstly by Pauline. She's a miner's widow. Pauline, what did you make to the budget?
Today's budget? Well, it's marking 40 years at miners' strike, yes. And they went back to work, not because they broke the spirits, but they ground them into poverty to do it. And over the last 12 years, this is what this government's done to Britain. It's ground it into poverty, especially at working class and lower end. And today's budget is just a continuation, because wherever there's great power, there's great corruption. And this government's corrupt. And I won't vote for them. If you paid me in, well, Bitcoin, yeah, I won't pay for them. Now, I'll tell you something else. If Sunak, right, if brains were dynamite, he wouldn't have enough to blow his cap off. So, no, I won't vote.
Thank you, Pauline. So certainly the Chancellor's budget hasn't won Pauline over in terms of voting for Conservatives. How about you, David? You were a miner for 31 years down the pits in South Yorkshire. What did you make to that budget?
Well, at first word what comes to mind is rabble. I hope there weren't any kids watching it because they might think that's normal behaviour. But as far as the budget itself concerned, the national insurance reduction of 2%, I hope people out there realise that 2% is being paid for by all the pensioners who should be getting a pension this year, but due to the retirement age being raised, they won't be getting it. So effectively, they're paying for it. And the house building programme we announced, I don't know whether it was 1,000 houses or whatever, but I'm hoping that a lot of those are social housing, so that it gives people affordable, well-maintained houses to rent to those who can't afford the massive deposits and the massive mortgages. Other than that, it was a giveaway budget to win the next election and capture votes.
And that 2p it was in the pound, and the budget, has that captured your vote?
He hasn't got a prayer of capturing my vote. Never ever. But he said, never say never, but I'll say never.
Thank you, David. So, no votes for the Conservatives from Pauline or David there. I'll come to you, Chris. Chris, you were a miner in South Yorkshire for 10 years. How did you see the closures of the pits change the community, and has what the Chancellor's put forward in this budget going to change this area for you?
Hello, Anna. Well, the villages haven't changed, and it caused a lot of unrest with the miners' strike, as everybody knows. There's even families nowadays don't talk to each other. You know, we're talking 40 years on. It's all wrong, but that's what it caused. As for the listening to the Conservatives, you'll not find us people listening to it because we never ever come out winning. No matter what they promise, the working man always gets hit. Not just miners, normal working people get hit. The rich get looked after. Normal people like us, we just have to buy and carry on and carry on. So in my view, I shall never ever vote Conservative. I think Labour will win, and I think that's why today, with this budget, is trying to buy the people's votes. It'll not work because look at the nurses. They're going through a lot. They deserve a lot more than what they're getting, but it won't pay them.
And Chris, why do you think Labour could do a better job?
I wouldn't say Labour do a better job, but I don't think they make a mess up like the Conservatives are doing. I think they'd have a good. They would help the working people more than what they do the rich people, and it'll always stay like that with the Conservatives.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. So that's 3-0 so far for votes for the Conservatives. I'll come to you next, George. George, you were a miner for 14 years and you were actually arrested for the action that you took during the strikes, and you were jailed for a month. What do you make of the budget, and what does this 40-year anniversary of the strikes mean to you?
It means nothing to me what he's just said on that telly, because it'd be a pack of lies. He's only bringing these things forward just because election might be coming up. But it doesn't help really for working man or our NHS or things what people need. We've had that many cutbacks over years. It's absolutely disgusting, really. I mean, honestly. And also, they're on about people retiring at 70. There's a lot of men out here in this country what do manual hard work, and a lot of them's had it at 50, 55. They can't do no more. They've had it. It's all right if you're pen pushing and things like that, but no, people's knackered. They cannot do that anymore. You know what I mean? They wore out. Let's say that.
They did say in that budget, though, they would be putting more investment into public services, to the NHS, doing more for policing, better hospitals, and doing investment in other areas. You mentioned their hard work, but they say that we could be the next Silicon Valley after the USA. Does that mean anything to you, investment in other areas and that investment in public services?
No, it's just talk before election. It'll never happen. It's just pie in the sky to me. Won't happen. We're in the real world, us people here. We know where we stand and what we stand for, and they don't stand for what I stand for, and that's how I am.
Thank you, George. So that's the take here from Renishaw Miners Welfare. Nobody here that I've spoken to saying they'll vote for Conservatives after that budget.